So today is June 19th, 2021. And June 19th, for the last 156 years, it has been collectively known as Juneteenth, at least among the black community. And for those of you who don't know what Juneteenth is, you must have been living under a rock for at least the last year. So let me explain it to you. On January 1st, 1863, Abraham Lincoln enacted the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed the slaves in all states, including the unrecognized Confederate states. Now, unfortunately, since we were still at war at the time with the South, it really couldn't enforce the proclamation in states that were still fighting. So after the war ended on April 9th, 1865, the Union Army proceeded to go about the remaining slave states, ensuring that they knew the slaves were now free. And that culminated with the last group of enslaved peoples in Texas hearing of this from the Union Army on June 19th, 1865. 2 years, 6 months, and 18 days after the Emancipation Proclamation was announced. Now, even though legal chattel slavery wasn't completely abolished at that point, it wasn't really done until the 13th Amendment was ratified on December 6th of that year. It was most definitely a cause for celebration, and so they celebrated, with the first official celebration done a year later in Galveston, Texas. And since then, it has spread across the country, going mostly unrecognized or unnoticed even by the white community. Up until last year, when Trump happened to schedule a rally on June 19th in Tulsa, where just 99 years earlier, we had the Tulsa Race Massacre, so Black Wall Street. Now, that just so happened to be an unhappy accidental coincidence, and he did move the date to the next day, but it started a firestorm, which brought Juneteenth to the forefront of the media. Then he said this, and while it sounds like he's boasting, and most likely he was, he actually did, though. And 3 months later, he pledged to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. Now, obviously, he didn't get the chance to do that, but it is now recognized as a federal holiday, as it should be. Why should it be? Because it is a celebration of their independence. Now, of course, the argument is that July 4th is Independence Day and that they're Americans and they should just celebrate independence on Independence Day. And I will agree that as Americans, yes, they should celebrate Independence Day. But they did not gain their independence like the colonists did on that day. And if you want to be technical, September 3rd, 1783 was the day we gained independence. But we celebrate the day we declared our independence. No, because while those Americans were celebrating their freedom from tyrannical rule, they were still tyrannically ruling the slaves. So if you have a problem with Juneteenth being a federal holiday, you're part of the problem.